This morning, before sunrise, I laid the cards for Aries, and when I turned over the very first card, I froze. I held my breath, and I just sat there with my hands over my heart. I've been reading the cards for over 20 years, and still, there are mornings that stop you cold. This is no coincidence, my love. Something inside you is already shifting. Before this week is over, you will feel it. In this video, I'm going to show you the card that explains why your enemies are in a quiet, private panic, and why they cannot stop what's coming. I'm going to reveal what is arriving for you in the days ahead. Something you have been waiting for longer than you should have had to wait. I'm going to share a message from your ancestors, one that came through the cards so clearly it moved me deeply. And I'm going to walk you through an internal awakening that has already begun inside you, whether you can feel it yet or not. Because here is what I know about you, Aries. You are tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. You are tired in a place that most people never see. The part of you that has been carrying, in silence, the weight of what others did in the shadows. You didn't make noise. You didn't collapse. You simply kept going, and you kept going, and you kept going, and that weight is still there. Oh my God, Aries. The card that came out for you today is the Judgment. When I turned it over, I held my breath all over again just thinking about you. This is not a soft card. This is not a gentle whisper from the universe. This is the trumpet. This is the call that rises from below, that shakes the sleeping awake, that brings to the surface everything that was buried, every truth, every secret, every act that was done in the dark and believed to be safe. The Judgment is the card of divine revelation and of the great awakening. It shows the angel above, the horn lifted high, and below, figures rising from where they lay, arms open, eyes opening, unable to stay hidden any longer. For you, Aries, this card means that what was concealed is coming to light, not because you forced it, not because you fought for it, but because the universe has its own reckoning, and that reckoning has arrived. Your enemies sense this. They feel something changing in the air around them, and they do not know what it is, but they feel the ground shifting beneath their feet, and it frightens them. Now listen to me well, because this matters. The awakening the Judgment brings is not just external. It begins inside you. It begins when you stop waiting for someone else to validate what you already know to be true. It begins when something in you rises, the same way those figures rise in the card, and says, "Enough. I know what happened. I know what I deserve, and I am no longer willing to carry what was never mine." Does any part of this reach you today? Perhaps you trusted someone who used that trust against you. Perhaps you were faithful in a situation where faithfulness was not returned. Perhaps you worked and gave and waited, and someone else took credit, or took more, or left you standing alone, holding the consequences of their choices. Perhaps people around you smiled to your face and said things in the dark that you were never supposed to hear. Perhaps you stayed quiet because you are wise enough to know that reaction is not the same as victory, and still the injustice sat heavy on you. Does that resonate, Aries? If this reading is touching something real inside you, I want you to stay here with me. Give this video a like so that more people who need this message can find it. And subscribe so that you never miss a reading. The cards are not finished speaking to you today. You tried waiting. You tried silence. You tried forgiving before you were ready, because you believed that was the right thing to do. You prayed. You let time pass, and the weight, the specific, stubborn weight of unresolved injustice, was still there in the morning. Aries, what's broken inside you doesn't need more patience. It doesn't need more time. It needs something deeper, something that goes to the root, something sustained, something that holds you while you do the work that waiting alone can never do. Come here, my love. I want to speak to you honestly for a moment, because I see what you're carrying, and it is real. You haven't been imagining it. The exhaustion is real. The weight is real. And the fact that you are still here, still looking for a way through, that tells me something important about who you are. I have walked with people through exactly this kind of pain, people who carried silent injustice for months, for years, people who needed not one more piece of advice, but a path, a real path. That is why I created the 21 decrees of the Abuela. For 21 days, I walk with you. Each day, one decree. A short spoken prayer, a small ritual, a reflection that goes deeper than any single video can reach. You do not have to study. You do not have to know anything in advance. You simply show up each day and I will be with you. 21 days, voice to voice, step by step. My love, I am leaving the path below in the first pinned comment. It will be there waiting for you when you are ready. You endure so much, Aries. And I want you to understand something. It is not weakness that has kept you carrying this. It is the opposite. Somewhere along the way, you learned to hold things before you ever learned that you were allowed to set them down. That is not a flaw. That is a history. And it is also a door. Because what is learned can be unlearned, and what was placed on you without your permission can be returned. You did not come here today by accident. Something guided you here, and that something knows you are almost ready. The Judgment card carries a specific image, and I want you to hold it with me. The angel descends from above, not gently, not slowly, with a great golden trumpet raised high, and the sound that comes from it is not a sound that asks permission. It calls. And those who have been sleeping, lying still in places they were never meant to remain, they rise, arms open, eyes up. The stone that covered them rolls away on its own. This is what is happening inside you, Aries. There are parts of you that have been lying very still, very quiet, under the weight of what was done. And now the trumpet has sounded. The awakening is not violent. It is inevitable. Your enemies feel this, even if they cannot name it. They sense that something in you has changed. The silence that once felt like submission now feels like something else, entirely to them, something they cannot control, and that difference is what frightens them. The one who wronged you doesn't fear your anger. They fear your peace. That is what I felt when I turned this card over for you today. I felt it so strongly that my eyes filled with tears. My own grandmother once told me about a woman in her village, a quiet woman, a woman who kept to herself and lived cleanly. This woman had been betrayed by someone she loved deeply, someone she had trusted with her home, her name, her future. And when the betrayal happened, it did not come to light. It stayed hidden. The one who had wronged her walked freely, and she walked carefully, and the village saw only the surface of things. For 3 years, this woman said nothing. She did not accuse. She did not rage. She tended her garden. She fed her neighbors. She lit her candles and said her prayers and kept her integrity as if it were the last thing she owned, because it was. And then, my grandmother told me, the truth came out on its own, not because of anything the woman did. A letter was found. A witness spoke. The light reached into the corner where the lie had been living, and it could not survive there. The woman did not have to do a single thing except remain herself. And that, Aries, is the moral your ancestors want you to hear today. The universe's justice does not ask our permission. It does not wait for us to build a case. It moves in its own time, and it is thorough and it is complete. What was done in the dark will come to light. Your only task is to remain yourself while it does. Tonight, Aries, before you sleep, I want you to do this. Take a small piece of paper. It doesn't need to be anything special. And write these words in your own hand. I carried what was not mine. I return it now. Write it clearly, slowly. Let yourself feel it as the words form. Then fold the paper. Fold it 4 times, making it smaller with each fold, as though you are gently pressing the weight into something contained and finished. Place it under your pillow, and then, sitting quietly in your bed, before you lie down, say these words aloud 3 times. The first time you say them as a statement of fact. This is what happened. This was not mine to carry. The second time, say them as a release. Let your breath go as you finish the sentence, as though you are setting something down. The third time, say them as a vow, not to anyone else, just to yourself, that you are choosing, from this night forward, to stop holding what belongs to the universe to handle. This is not magic, my love. This is what wise women have always known. That the body carries what the mind cannot release, and that small, intentional acts of surrender make space for what is truly yours to finally arrive. What you've received today is real, Aries. It is not just words. It is a direction, a ritual, a truth that belongs to you. And I hope you feel even a little lighter for having heard it. But I have to be honest with you now. I have to tell you the truth. Because one video, no matter how much love I pour into it, cannot reach the deepest layer of what you are carrying. What you heard today helps, truly, but a video, no matter how deep, does not heal what you're carrying. You don't need one more piece of advice, Aries. You need a path. The 21 decrees of the Abuela is that path. 3 phases, in order. Cut, in days 1 through 7, where we name what must be released and begin the work of truly setting it down. Heal, in days 8 through 14, where we tend the places inside you that were left raw by what happened. And open, in days 15 through 21, where we prepare you, genuinely, from the inside, for what the universe is already moving toward you. It is not a long course. You do not have to study anything. I will be with you, voice to voice, every single day. And my love, I want to say this clearly. You have 7 days to feel it. If after 7 days it does not reach you, if it does not feel like the path I promised, I will return every penny. No questions, no explanations required. Just let me know. The first pinned comment is where you will find it. And if you are ready, if something in you says yes, I want you to leave a comment below that says, I'm ready for my path. Look carefully at what the cards brought you today, Aries, because there is one more. When I pulled the final card of this reading, the card that speaks to where you are going, my eyes filled with tears. The sun, warm, bright, completely full. I sat there for a moment and just held it in my hands, because after everything the judgment revealed, after all the weight and the truth and the reckoning, this is where you are headed. The sun does not promise ease. It promises light. It promises a morning where you wake up, and the first feeling you have is not dread and not heaviness, but something simpler, something you may have forgotten, the sense that you are okay, that you are safe, that the day in front of you belongs to you. Aries, I want you to receive this promise not as something distant, but as something already in motion. The awakening. The judgment began is real. The justice that is moving is real. And the sun, waiting on the other side of this, is real. You have done enough for today. I mean that. Take care of yourself tonight. Eat something good, drink water, open a window, and let in some air. Let today's reading settle. You do not have to figure everything out before morning. What came through these cards today is yours to carry in a different way, not as a burden, but as a light to walk toward. And if these readings help you, if this is a space where you feel less alone, subscribe, my love. Come back tomorrow. I'll be here. The journal is in the first pinned comment, and I'm not going anywhere. But I've learned something, after all these years, about the doors we say we'll walk through later. Later has a way of becoming never. Not because we aren't ready, but because the moment passes and the weight settles back in, and we tell ourselves we'll find the path another day. I trust you, Aries. I trust you to know when your moment is, and I believe in my heart that today might be yours. Go with light. You don't walk alone.